This has been the talk of the CS community over the past couple of days. Sarah tweeted out, Armory is not a limited time event. Content will change, but Armory will stay. Now, I didn't really even know who Sarah is. Apparently, she's a streamer for ITB Shuffle, some kind of streamer, something in the community. I don't really know. This tweet got a ton of views. Didn't really get that many likes or engagement, I guess, but 236,000 views, and it had a ton of people talking. But this is also something that people had been speculating about and had kind of already been talking about. The fact that the Armory update or Armory thing, the battle pass for CS2, might be around to stay. This might be a permanent thing because this doesn't feel like an operation. This isn't an operation. This is something different. This is, cosmetics. This is Valve trying to get people to play the game. This is a battle pass or some CS's version of a battle pass or whatever. So in this video today, we're going to be going over just what they were talking about and what this all means and how this could definitely impact and change markets going forward. I am Jeremy, CS2 cash trader, collector, and investor. And first, I just wanted to plug my cash trading business. If you're looking to sell any of your CS2 items, turn them into cold hard cash or crypto or any other payment method, definitely hit me up over on Twitter. It's going to be the first link in the description below. I'm buying pretty much anything and everything for the right price. You guys can see here just today, right before this video, I actually picked up some gloves, an AK, and a bunch of Copenhagen capsules. So if you guys have some stuff you're trying to sell for a decent price, we can probably get some done. And of course, you're helping support me, my channel, my content. With that being said, let's get right into this. So Sarah followed this up by showing us these, which again got very popular, 378,000 views. An email from Gabe or from Valve themselves or whatever. She said, hello, Mr. Newell. We are all confused about some wording on Armory. On the deagle, it says limited edition item, but on the collection items, it does not say that. Does this imply that the collection items will stay unboxable via means other than the past stars after your Armory is over, or through future Armory past stars, or that they would be available as cases that can be dropped in the weekly drop, or would the gun themselves be dropped in the weekly drops? Meanwhile, the deagle could never be dropped in the weekly drops, right? Or that the collection could be purchased in the store via Steam credit. So she's asking a lot of different questions here. I don't know. Some of these are good questions, some of these bad questions, whatever. She says, if you are unable to answer this point, could you please refer me to someone who can? Best regards and much appreciation, Sarah. So they got a reply and said, hi, Sarah, I'm a developer on CS2. So this isn't Gabe, obviously himself, but they received your email via Gabe. Regarding your questions, the Desert Eagle Heat Treated is available for the duration shown on the tile in the Armory. The Armory itself is not a limited time event, and Armory passes and stars do not have an expiration date, which we had already seen from the Armory frequently asked questions as well, which I think is kind of what got people talking about this in the first place. Valve literally put in the Armory FAQ that, like, Operation Stars do not ever expire, which, like, if they expired at some time, that would mean the Armory is going to end, but they don't ever expire, then how can the Armory end? Otherwise you're just going to have some useless stars that don't even do anything, that aren't even redeemable. So that's why people first started saying that the Armory pass was maybe a permanent addition to CS2. If the contents or rules of the Armory change, we'll announce it publicly ahead of updating the Armory. So this has got people speculating that it does seem like, yes, the Armory is permanent. It is a permanent addition to CS2, but also that the collections, the skins, the items inside of it should rotate out. Because if they were just permanent, lasting forever, something like the Anubis collection or whatever, those little packages, that wouldn't really make much sense. This would make them extremely unvaluable, and the point of a battle pass is to get people to play the game. So for people to play the game, you need them to constantly be excited about the items and constantly wanting to grind and play to get those items. And how we see the battle pass system work in all other games is that those items frequently change, whether it's every 3 months, every 6 months, every year, whatever. It does seem like these things will be rotating out. But like Sarah asked, and we don't really get an answer to this, is once things rotate out of the Armory, how are you able to get them? Are you able to get them? So that's going to be something very interesting, which to me, it would seem like there is and should be no other way to get them. Like once the gallery case is rotated out, there should be no other way to get the gallery case. I think it should be discontinued. That would make sense with how we've seen other things. The collections, they shouldn't be. Now, obviously the Overpass collection, I would assume if Overpass gets rotated back into the map pool, is going to be, part of souvenir packages and stuff like that. But for the other stuff, like the, whatever it's called, the Sport and Field, I can't even think of the other ones' names, but even the charms and the stickers and stuff, that they should hopefully be discontinued items and not be able to be purchased anymore. But we'll have to wait and see exactly if that happens. But yeah, this was crazy. She emailed them and got an official answer from Valve themselves. So Gabe Follower says, Sarah was kind enough to show me the original email, and I can confirm that this information is legit and the Armory is here to stay. In this case, I think they're going to rotate or add new items to the Armory once in a while. So this could be a ton of different things. We could see all kinds of different stuff. We could see patches added to the armory. We could see obviously more charms, more stickers, more collections, more cases. We could see agents. We could see new things that we haven't really seen before. This does give Valve all kinds of different opportunities here. But yeah, there's a ton of different questions and a ton of different fallout from this information. Mercy, he's got a couple different tweets I wanted to go over here. He says, is Valve leaving money on the table by not making the armory credits viable? He says, yes, they could have profited much more. And that's something that a ton of people have talked about, like Jesus and stuff like that, like in previous operations, but you are the product here. He has an interesting theory. I think it's actually pretty cool. I don't know if this is true or not. This is obviously very speculative, very tinfoil hat, but he's saying they're forcing people to play the game and feed lots of valuable information to VACnet 3.0. So obviously this could be true, this could be not, I don't know, but I also do think it's interesting that obviously by doing a battle pass where you have to actually play the game, it's just getting people to play. Now, we haven't necessarily seen a spike in player base numbers just yet, but I do think as, especially with the Shanghai Major, we'll probably get a lot of people viewing and playing. I also think eventually Valve is still going to have to add more new content. They're going to have to add in all the maps and game modes and stuff that people actually want, because obviously this was just a content update. This was just skins and things like that, hey, the existing player base, they love that, and they're going to spend money on that, but new skins isn't necessarily bringing back any old players or bringing in any new players or whatever. For that, you're going to have to show them that the game doesn't have cheaters, or show them that the game actually runs smoothly, or that the game is fun or exciting, or that there's some new thing going on that they need to try out. So yeah, I thought this was actually kind of a cool argument. Hopefully that's the case. Mercy also tweeted out this. He said, the Armory is here to stay forever in CS2. Is it worth investing in? It is now basically confirmed that it will stay in the game forever, which to me confirms all I said in part 1. This is not an operation. Other factors which strongly stress that is no operation coin. The heat-treated deagle is limited edition, so that means if they would eventually take all the other items from the game, all items would also be limited. It makes no sense. There were no gameplay features, no new maps, no new game modes, nothing. It's extremely similar to the first CSGO skins update, the ARMS deal. They mentioned there is no expiration date. Okay, so this is the most important point to consider. Items won't be limited besides a deagle, but it is not that simple. And we don't necessarily know that either. Again, the items could be rotated out. They absolutely could be limited. They just could be limited on a different time frame than the deagle or whatever. But first, Valve made it harder to get items, considering you now got to play the game in order to attain drops. This will drastically decrease the influx of new items. It's impossible to speculate this early at what point the supply will stabilize. Fact is, it takes around 15 to 25 hours to finish the pass. So I'd say the average player gets all credits in 2 to 3 weeks. After that, will they keep buying new passes? I'd guess the demand will start to drastically decrease after 1 month. And that's what I was saying too. I think 1 month, 3 months from now, we're going to see the redemption rates of stars and passes and everything drop down immensely, which is going to mean Valve is going to need to keep the Armory fresh if they want it to be this permanent long-term thing. I don't think Valve's stupid. I don't think they think people are going to redeem these items forever, especially if they're because the longer they're in the store, the longer their value is going to go down, and it's going to make less and less sense to actually buy a battle pass to redeem it for things where you're just going to be losing money. But if they keep the items fresh, they can constantly keep people buying into them, which would actually make a lot more sense. But then he goes into, some of the different numbers and stuff like that from the other things. He doesn't think the prices are getting higher from here for those items, so it's an easy sell. And of course, I'm using the coverts as examples, but the same logic goes to the items below. In terms of looks, I think the past operation items were cooler and felt more high tier, so the demand for the Armory probably won't even be as high as those were, which presses prices even lower. But people seem to be forgetting that the charms and the top tier heat-treated deagle and 5.7, for now it seems like the rare charms are the best opportunity, so that where it seems like he is going to be looking at things. Again, that's just a ton of speculation. Osni tweet out, CS2 developer confirms the Armory is not a limited time event and will stay in the game. I'm guessing skins items in the Armory will change every few months. They'll probably also get new limited edition items like the deagle heat treated, so that would be very, very cool as well. Who knows, we're going to get more heat treated limited edition items. Who knows, we're going to get more cooler, better limited edition items. Maybe they're going to change the amount of stars things cost. Who knows? Sarah, it's twice. Sarah Sayers it twice. I don't know. Has appeared to receive confirmation from a CS2 dev that the Armory is a permanent feature going forward. New cases and collections will likely be rotated into it. Again, seems like a lot of speculation. We'll have to see. And then I also thought that this was maybe the most interesting question from the whole thing, but it seems like this is the case. But also, this is even if new things are going to be rotated. We don't even know that for sure. But we could just farm stars, wait till the next change of collections, and then spam open it the first second the new stuff drops, which, yeah, I mean, it seems like you could do that. I don't know if you're going to be allowed to or whatever, but I don't see why you wouldn't be able to. But I mean, there is some advantage in that, I guess. You'll have a bunch of stars saved up. But then it's also just stars that you're sitting there doing nothing with, and you don't know when the items are going to change. You could be waiting for a change that's not even going to happen, or it's going to take a year or whatever. But yeah, I guess theoretically you could farm stars, save them up, and then buy a bunch of stuff the first day, and then cash them out the first day, and maybe make some money. But maybe you should have made more money in the meantime by actually selling stuff right away. Who knows? But I thought that was at least an interesting question. But yeah, the big update today is it does at least seem like it has been confirmed by Valve that the Armory update is here to stay. That this is a permanent thing going forward, and we'll have to see how the success and how the trends and all of it work. How long the items are going to stay, how much the volume is going to have, what the supplies of these things are going to be. But it's going to be interesting. You know, this is definitely a game changer for Counter-Strike. Obviously, Counter-Strike 2 is a whole new game, a whole new experience, all that. Valve already adding some new things into it. We'll have to see how this affects the markets going forward. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.